Hello, dear friends. This is the Moonly team and the Moonly podcast. In this space, we invite spiritual masters and practitioners we've met along our journey. These magical people follow their destiny and share stories and tools that help others get closer to their inner light. You can find the support you need and gain new knowledge and inspiration through articles and meditations on the Moonly app.
With this episode, we are starting a new series dedicated to musicians and music. And our first guest is incredible Brian Larson, the creator of the Mettaverse project. His music is tuned to angel numbers, which reflect precise frequency and have their own interpretation and meanings. Each of Brian's tracks filled with a specific intention to help the listener enter the space of healing. We talked about what frequency and vibration are, how vibrational music changes our inner settings and helps to cope with anxiety and stress, and why music is a tool which helps people feel their divine power. Hello, Brian.
Hey, hello.
Thank you for joining our podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Today we're starting a new series dedicated to musicians and music. We have a separate section called Healing, where we feature audio meditations, sound healing, and radio. And you were the first musician we collaborate with back in 2020. There is a story behind. We recorded the first set of meditations. We had voice recordings on hand. And there was a step number 2 to find music to accompany them. And I had no idea where to look for it. And then, in that particular time, I heard your track on SoundCloud. That was something truly unique. And I've realized that for me, you like a Hans Zimmer in meditative music.
Oh my gosh, that's a huge compliment.
And I'm so happy we were able to negotiate collaboration. And we still use your music in 80% of our meditations.
That's just amazing. And what you guys do, you're just the energy, I could tell right away. Just by talking to you way back then, I knew it was real. I knew it was, and it was like, of course, I just kind of sensed that energy. And just with the work you guys do, I look at the design and the aesthetics of the app, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, this is Moonly's mission to simplify the tools for the soul to grow and make them handy in everyday life.
Yeah. Well, and also I think the significance of the cycles of the moon and our astrological cycles are, it's powerful stuff. It really is real. It's incredible. And when you experience it, you
can really align with this, cosmic harmony.
Yeah, it's kind of like when our souls came here, it's like our raw soul essence filtered through the planets, which gave us our individual frequency, which is kind of like our astrological sign in a way. It's our frequency, for being here in a way.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, what is vibration for you and what is frequency?
Yeah, vibration is kind of more of a resonance to me. It's like when you look at particles, for example, how particles are constantly vibrating. There's the classical model, when you look at the electrons, if I'm getting it right, the electrons circling around and around and around, everything's constantly moving and vibrating. And I think it's like a symphony of music in a way, just like a combination of limitless amounts of vibratory frequencies combining into one sort of harmonic resonance. But I think vibration is also a state of a heart space. It's something we generate with our intent, with our intention. Like it can be from a scientific standpoint, it can be striking a tuning fork, and then you have the vibration and the frequency of that tuning fork, the vibration of the movement and the frequency, which would be the specific note that it would give us. But in the same sense, our hearts are tuning forks with our intentions, are kind of strike that heart, and we resonate out into the universe, and then like resonances come back to us in a way. With the music, I remember starting to write this music way back when, and learning about alternative tunings, 432 and 528, and it's incredible the harmony and the mathematical harmony in these tuning modalities. But I think that's only you only get half the way there with the frequencies. I think the other equation is intent, is our intent. And with sound healing in general, when you have a sound bowl, or you're working with somebody to help them heal, I think when you have the frequency aligned with the frequency that's emanating from their hearts and from your heart and from the intentions of everybody around, that creates this harmonic resonance with the music itself, and then it increases the power of healing. Really, it's kind of a tool to help people bring out their own divine power. And that's what the music is. It's a tool, because the power really is in the person listening. So ultimately, it's almost like I see it as like we're just listening, like music that aligns with you. It's kind of like you're just listening to yourself. You're listening to a reflection of yourself. Like if you're listening to a song that makes you feel joy, that song is what you sound like. Like that's your reflection, and I think, and I'm able to channel that somehow, and it's able to reach people, and yeah.
How long should you listen to vibrational music to feel the effect? What do you think?
I think the more the better. But I think, even just it's kind of like with the meditation practice, when you're just first starting out meditating, it takes time to get accustomed to, or it takes time to sort of let it do its thing, or get used to a certain routine. But I think a little bit every day, even just if it's like 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes on the drive to work, or during a task, or when somebody's outside mowing the lawn, those little things. It's almost like when you're doing something, when you're doing an activity or doing something, and you're feeling a certain way. Maybe that's a better way to describe it. For people to listen, I think the recommended would be for people to listen to their bodies and listen to their hearts and their minds. And if they're feeling out of alignment, or if they're feeling a little bit of something's not right, those are the most perfect places, perfect times to listen, even just for 10 minutes to some sort of higher vibrational song or music.
Each of your track is tuned to a certain frequency, for example, 639 hertz or 111 hertz. What does it mean?
So each one has a kind of a different interpretation or meaning. So 111 is one of my songs went viral was regenerative reset, and I did 111 hertz. And there are these temples in Malta that the resonant frequency, I think, is around 111 hertz, or 110 and 111 hertz. And I guess it apparently they use these temples and ceremonies, and it helped that specific frequency helped bridge the two hemispheres of the brain together. And it's funny because 111 is exactly A in 528 hertz tuning. So 528 hertz tuning is a tuning. It's in line. 528 hertz is apparently the frequency of the sun. When you look at 528 in the light spectrum, in the light color spectrum, it's the color of chlorophyll. So there's kind of these synchronicities there, and it's pretty incredible. Like I didn't even know this stuff. I just started to do the math and try to figure out, okay, if I want to tune my song to 528, what do I need to do? And I started to discover, wait a minute, 111, 444, all these angel numbers are like the exact frequencies of 528 hertz tuning. And so it's kind of been this, I've been having fun. I've been creating and having fun with it, and just kind of enjoying that process of being like, yeah, there's a lot to these frequencies. But I also want to create it in a way that inspires the listener because the power really is in the listener, the person listening. It's like, I really want, because, when you go into the listening to that song with the right intention, I mean, that's, and the right intention, I use graphics, visuals, all those elements to kind of arrange that and to help the listener enter that space where they can more easily create that intention of healing, and then you have that handshake between intention and the music, and it's like magic.
Yeah, that is exactly how we choose music for meditations. I look through the frequency that you have in your YouTube channel, because sometimes we have meditations with the sun energy. Sometimes, when there is meditation about inner child, I chose love frequency for it, because we need to connect to the heart and feel this compassion. And it just works like, when you put the right frequency music into the right place, combining it with the meaning, wow, it's just boom. It has this like boom effect, because it's like a surgery, like you make this kind of preparation, relaxation, things like that. And then when the person is ready, you just put the right frequency into this space.
That's exactly when you have the combination of the guided meditation and everything else. It's, and I can't get enough of, like, I just love, I love hearing other people, like, what other people do with it. It's so cool.
I'm interested in both, in like practical side and energy side of it. Let me start with practical side. Is all music tuned to a specific frequency, or only the one that has a frequency label in the description? And what is the difference in the creation process itself?
Sure. Yeah. Right now the tuning standard is A440. And there's a lot of speculation behind why that is. Yeah, some of it can get kind of we can go down some rabbit holes with that tuning. But I think, and I have done like different mathematical kind of explorations with 440 as opposed to 432. When you look at the numbers 369 and the work of Tesla and vortex mathematics, that falls right in line with 432 hertz tuning with numerically, but 440, it throws it off. It just and 432 feels, I can describe it in color, but I can't describe it in words. It just feels like the color of the music feels like all of a sudden you put a filter on it that just brought out the richness and saturation, and it just became this beautiful thing, but I know there are a lot of artists who just stick to 440 still, um and my thing is, I don't want to create any sort of division between what's like 440 or 432. um I prefer, I think, to educate people in what the difference is, and to say, hey, there is this difference. There's a 440 is not as harmonious in, numerically, and in so many other ways. I mean, the measurements of the pyramid, I mean, literally, I mean, like, you can look at all these synchronicities in the world and how they equate to 432. And another octave of 432 is 108. 108 is a sacred number in many religions. I make my mala beads with 108 bead malas, and it's incredible. It really is. But that being said, I think music can, even if there's a song, even if there's music that's tuned to 440, I mean, Radiohead, to me, like Kid A or some Radiohead song is tuned in 440, but it just moves me, like, and so it's like, I don't want to create like division between the two, really. I think it's about just human beings coming together and saying, all right, what is music? Like, how does it make us feel? Like, I'm gonna, like, teaching people how to listen to their intuition and to say, how do I feel with this song? Does it make me feel off somehow for some reason? Or does this make me feel, even if it's a 440 song, it might make somebody feel great. But for Mettaverse, for the meditation music, I really want to, like, stick to that very kind of that 432 or 528 tuning, and yeah, that's what I prefer.
How do you choose frequencies? How do you know what frequency to tune your next track to?
I think a lot of it feels channeled. Like, a lot of times I don't really know until I start to make the music, until I start to play my keyboard, and then it just starts to somehow magically just comes together. And a lot of times, lately, like, what I'll do is I'll tune a song to 432, but then I'll add binaural beats. So if we want to do like a theta waves or delta waves, I will make sure those sine waves are also tuned to a harmonious frequency that's tuned to 432. So if it's like a 8 hertz difference, I'll compensate between the two. So I do all the mathematics. So it's like, it just fits in that frequency pocket where you just know it. It just feels good.
What's your biggest revelation since you started working with high vibration music?
That music isn't, like, music can be, like, society sees a song as this sort of commodity, as this pop culture commodity, like a product or something. But music is everywhere. It's literally everywhere. And frequency, everything is frequency. Everything is vibrating. Everything is resonance. And like with the paintings I'm making, I'm trying to paint the way a tree is musically, because everything's vibrating, everything. And so this ambient meditation music, the music that I'm writing, it's almost like I'm just creating a room. I'm creating a song, but it's like I'm creating this ambient room that you can walk into and heal. And then whenever you want, like it plays for 8 hours. You can walk in there for 8 hours. And yeah, so that's the biggest changes for me was the way I saw music. Because I started in a rock band and we just made a lot of noise. And I mean, it was beautiful. It was awesome noise. It was really fun. And we'd play lots of shows and write kind of your rock tunes. Did a lot of Beatles and Zeppelin and kind of that kind of stuff. It was really, really fun. But stepping back from that, once I got older and we couldn't stay out till 4 a.m. anymore playing rock shows at the clubs. And I'm like, I started meditating too, just to find myself and to detox and everything else. And then was like, I discovered Meditative Minds and other channels on YouTube. And I'm like, I can make stuff like this. Why don't I try? And then it just transformed the way I, saw myself as a musician, as a songwriter, as a creator. And it set me on this path of inner exploration that led me to places that I didn't think it would go. And it's been beautiful and painful. I started Mettaverse. I didn't know Mark Zuckerberg was going to do what he did. I was like, what's going on here? And, but my concept of it is, so loving kindness, I would do the metta prayer at this monastery that I'd go to. At the end of every meditation, we'd pray the metta prayer. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. Just for all beings, just universally put that out there. And I was like, I'm going to build my channel around that concept. And musically, I think that's just so important that this music is supposed to get out, just emanate out there for all beings who want to hear it.
Now your tracks really have millions of views on YouTube. And from what moment did you realize that your music had gone big and there is so much interest?
It's amazing. Like once I saw like 1 million views on one video, I was like, how is this happening? It was almost like I knew Metaverse. I have a knowing with Metaverse, but at the same time, it never ceases to amaze me because I still don't feel big, even though I know Metaverse is like big. I'm like, and I still kind of just grind away in my little cave and I write music. And then I step back and I'm like, I look at what Metaverse has become and what the channel has become, and I'm like, holy crap! It has gotten a long way. So, yeah. But what it's done for me, I think, it's been such a blessing because it's helped me make a living just making music. And so I've been able to this past year, especially going through kind of the life changes that I've gone through, it's helped me take this year and just make music and heal and know myself. And to me, I feel so grateful, just so grateful. I just feel this amazing gratitude,
So the Metaverse project, where it's all going?
Oh my gosh, that's a really good question. I see everything that I create, and everything that other people create that is shared through Metaverse. leads people back to their true selves, to their truest frequency. It helps people remember their true selves. And that's, I think, as long as it's going that direction, as long as then we just keep going that way.
In the description of this podcast, you can find links to the Mettaverse YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, other social networks. Also, you can find some Metaverse tracks in Moonly app, on Moonly Radio, and in our guided meditations. In the titles of your tracks, read the words like angels, divine, higher realm. And I'm interested, how do you perceive and feel the light beings? I feel they are here in your music. I really feel they are here. I'm curious how you interact with them.
Yeah, it's sometimes I'll hear choirs. I'll hear like a choir, and I didn't even put a vocal track in there. And I'm hearing these little things in my music, and I'm like, wow, thank you for that cool little thing. And to me, I always feel a presence, like just kind of hands on my shoulder, sort of. It almost feels like a very piercing frequency, sort of like when you try to look at them or feel them. It's like a very kind of loud, like a loud piercing geometric shape that shows up, and then you get accustomed to it from your heart. You focus in on your heart center, and then you rise to that level of perception, and you can like feel them better. It's beautiful, and they're us. We're them. We're all reflections of each other, and it's like family. It's like a family reunion. It feels like that. It's kind of like we're here on a mission right now in this physicality, and it's not always easy, And but we have a lot of support in other higher realms. So,
wow. And that's beautiful that we can connect with this support through your music.
Yeah. It's just amazing to know how many people it's helped. I mean, I don't know how many people have heard it. YouTube tells me numbers and everything, but I don't know. And I feel collectively the impact, though. Because I can, I'm like a mega empath, so I'm always filtering energies coming at me, and I'm like, what's what? But I can feel that, and that collective, wow. It's like, I'm just Brian, I'm just a guy who learned some skill sets, and it took me years to do it. And it feels like this force channeling through me. Like, it feels like this kind of ocean coming in through my head and through my heart or something. Like, I'm just channeling it and using my skills. And it's almost like this thing coming through the collective that just needs to be heard. And I'm doing it.
How do you manage to give yourself fully to the flow? Maybe you have any rituals, any some sort of tunings, or this energy flows through you by itself all the time and you don't have to tune into it?
Yeah, usually if I'm balanced, I think it's about learning how to balance my day, being a father to two young kids. And I can actually, sometimes it's harder to feel flow when I'm chasing those two kids around. But to be honest, there's a different kind of flow. It's kind of like I'm feeling being a father. I'm feeling the beauty of it, the rawness of it, I just want them to be safe. I love them so much. I just want to hug them. And all those feelings are part of building the next song. All those feelings are part of the flow. But some days if I'm feeling a little stuck or just a little the energy, I feel some blockages. I'm like, I can kind of do some self astral surgery and look at where those are and and start to address it. Sometimes I need to just go do something completely random, and that'll do it. Or go for a walk, but most of the time I think, there's a good flow.
Do you use your own music to tune into, like in meditations, for example, to do this astral surgery and things like that?
Sometimes a lot of it's in silence. Just I usually just either that or just nature sounds. But when I'm writing and when I finish a song, I'll listen to it for a while. I'll go on walks. I'll sit right by the riverside and just meditate and listen to it for an hour and really absorb it. But I think I'm doing, man, when I think about it, I think I'm doing energy work, because before I send it out, I'm listening to it and I'm becoming everybody else who's listening to it. If that makes sense. It's like I'm listening to it as if I'm the I, the self, the all that is, all the ears that have heard it and that ever will hear it. I'm kind of merging with that I while I'm listening to it, and then I send it off and I publish it on YouTube, and then a lot of times I don't listen to it again. A lot of times I move on to the next song, and and then a couple years later, I'm like, I wrote that song. I like that.
Your kids, do they have same interest to music?
They do. They're starting to, yeah. They're right now they're 6 and almost 8. So it's fun to watch their interests develop. It's art is a big thing for them right now, painting, and I always have just fresh canvases ready for them whenever they want. And it's like I want to create this atmosphere of creativity, and they're starting to play around with one of my guitars that I let them play with, the one that can get thrown around a little bit.
When they were like little babies, did you put like your music to calm down, or like trying on them how it works? Because babies are so receptive.
They are very receptive. Yeah, they love it. My son Cash, who's named after Johnny Cash, he loves it. He's like, Dad, play Mettaverse, either Mettaverse or the Minecraft theme song. So I actually made a Metaverse version of the Minecraft theme song. Yeah, so that was for him.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And there are so many different sounds in your tracks, sounds of nature, birds, melodies, voices. And your music, I can feel it's very rich in sounds, very intense. There are phonic instruments, and each track is a symphony. I think that I haven't heard this kind of this meditative music to be so rich. How long does it take to create one track, and when do you know that it's finished? That, okay, I put enough.
Yeah, that's such a good question. It's like, sometimes it varies. I'm working on one that I'm really excited about to publish, but it's just like it doesn't feel quite ready, and it's like every week I'm like, will I finish it this week? Because I'm so excited about it. But sometimes I need to let them breathe a little bit. But then other times I'll start an idea in the morning, and then by the afternoon it'll be totally done. It kind of is like that. It's a channeling. It's like it just happens, and it's like I'm there, I'm present, and I'm doing all the things, finding all the audio, all the, the keyboard sounds and stuff. But it just, once it's done, it's like, holy crap, how did that happen? So, and a lot of it has to do too with kind of my own, where I'm at, how I'm feeling, the state of my heart, and what I'm going through in life. Sometimes I'll use those feelings as alchemy. I'll use those, even if there's some down feelings, if I'm feeling depressed or anxious, or I'm like, all right, I have some lead that I need to turn into gold here. So I use my music as that. I'm like, all right, the pain is kind of this furnace, fire in the furnace, and I can channel it and heal that way.
Yeah, it looks like the music has ability to penetrate so deeply into us, literally into every cell. How do you explain this? Because of like vibrations that we start this conversation from, yeah?
I think it's the vibrations from the specific frequencies, and also I do feel a lot of it is an intent that is put into the music. Also, that it's like I include specific frequencies, but I also it's encoded with other instruments that mix with those frequencies, but the songs themselves, I think, are encoded in ways that I don't understand. It feels like it's kind of a channeled thing, that it feels channeled, and a lot of it's like I don't really even understand it.
How does this music affect a person and his emotional, mental, and physical body? Maybe you have some stories to share from your personal experience and from people who listen to your music and leave some feedback.
I have friends who come up to me and are like, I'm struggling with anxiety, or a person I know is struggling, right now. Do you have any advice on what to listen to? So I've been starting to make some different tracks. I made one guided meditation, but I'm doing some bilateral stimulation tracks, which helps. I'm starting to research some of the science behind that audio bilateral stimulation, and the feedback I get, the people who, just from friends too, that tell me like, this is pretty incredible. Keep doing it. It's really helping me. It's amazing to hear that. And on YouTube, I go on every day and I read comments, and it's just, yeah, it's pretty incredible just to hear the people. I really want it to bring people back home to themselves. Like, music is like this. I think that's what this what's happening right now in the world in general, and with the awakening community, and with just this, if you want to call it the ascension, or whatever it is, it's this sort of collective, like, coming home to our true selves, to our natural selves, and it's our connecting to our whole bodies. It's the very, and just that process, that's an ascension process. Just that work with our bodies, with our minds, because that's all part of spirit. It's all part of aligning that one master template, that human template. The body is part of it. The mind is part of it. It's all one thing.
And that's awesome that you have such an instrument, that we have such instruments. You make it available for us.
Oh, I'm grateful as well. And Moonly's, what you guys are doing is amazing, and the world needs more more Moonly, and more ways for people to get in touch with themselves, and to, it's that tuning into the now moment, and basically just know thyself. And that's what we're doing. That's what Moonly's doing, and that's what Mettaverse is doing, and it's just amazing to be able to work with you guys. So
What message could you leave to our listeners?
The biggest message that I've that I've learned this past year for me is just to love yourself, is to love who you are and to embrace the things that make you the happiest. And I know it's such a simple message, but like that's how worlds are created. When you listen to your heart, when you do the things that make you feel joy, that's how you manifest your life. That's how you manifest your world, and that's how you change your life. And it's like the deepest truths are hidden in the simplest little quips, like be here now. It's like the deepest truths are hidden in those little sayings. And when we learn how to do that, when we learn how to really love ourselves, to come back home to ourselves, so who we really are, it's like a remembering of your true light, of your natural state. And I think that's what is happening right now on a massive scale, is people are starting to, there's a movement where people are remembering things. It's more of a remembrance than it is an awakening, because it's like when you awaken, you're like, oh, this is familiar. It's incredible. So yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.